Hello and welcome. In this lecture, I'll be showing you how to load a sample database into PostgreSQL. The sample database we are going to use is called the dvdrental database. This is a sample database taken from the Sakila sample database from the MySQL site. So this is the database I'm referring to. So basically I made some slight modifications to it to make things a lot easier for you. It's called a dvdrental. I've already extracted it here. So this is the extraction. This will be included in the resource page for this lecture. So you can just download it and follow along. This database should be more than enough for us to learn and practice using PostgreSQL. The database itself contains many objects. It has 15 tables, 1 trigger, 7 views, 8 functions, 1 domain. It also has 13 sequences. So once you've got the file downloaded, this file here, which is going to be available for you to download inside your resource page for this lecture. Once you've got that downloaded, what I need you to do is go to your local drive and say your local C drive if you're on the Windows, okay, and create a temp folder. So create a folder called temp, as I've done here, and add that file to it. So on your C drive, make sure you have a folder called temp and just add the dvdrental zipped or extracted file, the actual compressed file. Don't extract it, just make sure you add the compressed file into that temp directory. You can see 2 other files. These are not related to this lectures. These are other files that I can delete this actually because they're not related to this course. So you should only have this compressed file called dvdrental inside this temp directory, which is housed in the root of the C drive. Once you've got that done, launch the admin tool, which is I've already got it open here, which is the pgAdmin tool. You can launch that from the all programs, go to PostgreSQL and click on pgAdmin 4. So I've already got the tool selected. Make sure you've got the next thing we need to do, because we are going to load a database, we need to create a new database. So to do that, you right click on where it's got databases and go create database. So we are going to create a new database called dvdrental. So we need to give the database a name. I'm just going to call it dvdrental. I've got it all in lowercase, but it's up to you, it doesn't really matter. And the owner will be this user here called Postgres. And then in the comment, you can say whatever you want. I'll just say dvdrentals. Okay, and just click save. And by clicking save, that should install the database. So if I right click and refresh this now, this figure should change. You see it's already changed to 2, which means we have now successfully created a database called dvdrental. Now we can load the sample database. To do that, you just right click on where it says dvdrental, right click on that and there's an option to restore. Click on restore. All right, you get this saying please configure the PostgreSQL binary path. All right, so what we need to do is configure the path for that. So click OK and click on your file option, go to preferences and look for path. This is what it's complaining about. Under path, click on binary path, and inside the binary path we need to go to where we installed the software. So we installed in program files, and there should be, click on Postgres and click inside that folder, click on the bin directory and click to get the path. So this is the path is asking for. Copy that and paste it in there and say OK. If it's happy with that, there should be no complaint. So what you need to do now, we can go back and restore the database. So click on dvdrental, click on restore, and that error should no longer occur. Okay, format, select format is going to be custom or tar. Click on that. File name, we need to select where it is, the location. These three dots here gives you, enables you to browse the location of where the files are. Okay, alternatively you can manually insert the location of the file. So we're just going to go to where we've got the file stored. Is in a temp folder, this temp folder here, because sometimes it's slow. Now it's opened up, sometimes that can be slow to open. So we click on that, the C drive, and it's inside the temp folder. It says it can't find any files. Okay, so I'm going to click cancel. Sometimes it can have problem locating the files. So I'm just going to go manually and get the location, which is in the temp folder, dvdrental, and then just cancel out of that. If you click, what you need to do is just do a slash and add dvdrental. That's it. And just get the path from there, copy and paste it in here, and that should be it. You can leave the other option blank. Role name, you don't really need that. Or you can just select Postgres, which is the user that has the privilege to install the software. So click on this restore button here, and if everything goes to plan, it tells you here restore job created, restoring backup on the server, gives you all kinds of information regarding the backup. It tells you successfully completed. So we have successfully restored the database. So we can quickly check the database. This is the database here. If you click on this schema to expand it, the tables will be located inside the schema, and the name of the schema is public. Click to expand that, and then we can see all the objects for the database. So these are the tables. These are the trigger sequences. Let's focus on the tables here. Let's expand that. We should see 15 tables. It tells you there 15 tables. So we've got all our tables loaded. So we are good to go for the rest of the course. We've got our lab sorted, and we can progress with the rest of the course. So if you've successfully loaded the database, well done. If you've got any issues, please do not hesitate to let me know. Many thanks, and bye for now. Hello and welcome to this lecture. In this lecture, I'll be going through some basic database concepts. We'll begin with the database, what a database is. A database basically is a collection of organized information or data that is stored in a table. A table, on the other hand, stores information in rows and columns. So a table will store usually a collection of related data entries in columns and rows. This table here is similar to what a database table is. So the columns are horizontal. For example, this word terminology can be referred to as a column, and this word meaning can be referred to as a column. The rows, these rows are going vertical. So these database, table, columns, all these are referred to as row. So basically, this is how the table is structured in a database table. So you've got the columns going horizontal and the rows going vertically. Each row in a database table is referred to as a record. A schema is a collection of database objects. I will show you examples of this later on in the course. So any item is referred to as an object in a database. A database is an object, a table is an object, a view is an object. So these are all objects. So a collection of database objects housed in a container is referred to as a schema. Primary key. A primary key is a unique identifier, such as your driving license number or your health insurance record. Is a unique identifier that is used to identify unique records. So no two people can have the same records. So you are able to enforce that using a primary key. A foreign key, on the other hand, is like a primary key, but not exactly. It is used to reference a primary key in another table. For example, if table A has a primary key and table B has a primary key too, so you can have the primary key from table 2 acting as a foreign key in table 1. Likewise, you can have the primary key in table 2 acting as a foreign key in table 1, or vice versa. So a foreign key usually is used to reference another primary key in another table, but primary keys are unique per table. You can't have two primary keys in one table. There are two other concepts I want to illustrate with you. We've got the relational database. A relational database is a database with related tables. Also, we've got the concept of relational database management system. It's referred to as RDBMS for short. It is the software that manages the databases. So examples of the relational database management systems are Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server, MySQL. There is a lot more, but I've just restricted my examples to these three. So these are the basic database concepts that you will come across when working with SQL.